Animations often evolve in close proximity to the final application. I didn't want to spend too much time building up things that are overly specific to Uber's design, as you would have to throw them away anyway. One Uber-specific animation that I liked a lot is a blue highlight circle around the floating action button. This is Android specific for Uber. On iOS they have a circle, but it's inside the floating action button. I'm guessing this has more to do with the implementation than a deliberate design choice. This is pretty easy to implement. The round border allows us to stroke the border with any color and to any angle. That allowed this animation with almost no code. The class has a private constructor associated with the floating action button. We create instances of this class by using the bind method. We need the existing UI ID of the floating action button, which might be different from the default. We manipulate the style of the floating action button directly. So we will use the UI ID to restore the default settings when we are done. The animation stroke and speed are hard-coded to 0.5mm stroke and 1.5 second per progress rotation. This can be manipulated to create more deterministic progress indicator. I use a timer every 30 milliseconds to update the UI. Notice that if a timer runs too fast, it will be throttled and invoked much later. This won't make much of a difference, since we use motion to determine the actual speed of progress. Every time the motion finishes a cycle, we start again from scratch to give the feel of infinite progress. I update all three styles individually, instead of using get all styles. The main reason is preserving the uniqueness of each style, which get all styles would override. I just get the existing border while relying on the fact that it's a round border and customize the angle properly. Bind starts the timer and sets the animation on. We store the instance of this class in a client property so we can stop the animation later. When stopping the animation, I also set the UI ID again to reset all the changes that were made to the style object. Unlike the other animations we've had, I took a radically different approach of using the UI timer and the style. I used UI timer instead of timer as it makes sure to run the callbacks directly on the event dispatch thread, so there is no need for call serially. I've added this to the code in enter password form, so the progress indication appears there. I essentially replaced all of the code that referred to infinite progress with fab progress.